Hello and welcome back to Rosten's Reviews. We've made it to episode 6. Made it through another week this week. Week 6 was... Hello and welcome back to Rosten's Reviews. We made it to episode... That was kind of crazy. I don't know why that started repeating what I said. But anyway, welcome back to episode 6. This is kind of crazy. We made it through another week. So again, give yourself a pat on the back, round of applause, whatever you got to do. You've made it through another week. Congratulations. So this week, what we did in social studies is we looked at how Utsi died. We went over some scenarios and we tried to figure out what was the possibility of how he died. Okay. So, hello everybody. Nice to see everyone. Good of you to be here. So what we did was we started off, and I'll bring it up on screen right now. Wrong button. Boom, boom. What we did is we started with our death theories. Whoops, sorry. There we go. And our learning objective was to determine how Utsi the Iceman died by analyzing a variety of primary and secondary sources to create a death certificate. So we first went over the annotation guidelines, the 6 points of annotation, and we remembered that we underline our topic sentences and we bracket all the important information, and then when we're done with that, we summarize it, which is good. So we started off with death theory number 5, hypothermia, okay? We started off with death theory number 5, hypothermia, and we determined that it was a secondary source because we know it wasn't created during Utsi's time. It's telling us information about Utsi and Utsi's time. So we went through and we annotated. We knew that the topic was hypothermia, and then we bracketed all the information that had to deal with Utsi dying from hypothermia or causes of hypothermia that Utsi showed. So we did that. Then we summarized, which we know means to give a gist. And then we said Utsi could have died of hypothermia because the weather can change rapidly in the Alps, and his body temperature could have changed quickly, leading him to die from hypothermia. After we summarized, we went through and ranked it on a scale of 1 to 5. Blue class decided to rank it a 3. And we said because the weather does change quickly, but we know he was shot with an arrow in the back, so that's why we didn't rank it any higher. So then you guys visited the 4 stations. I showed you guys some pictures, too, to go with it to help you kind of visualize what was going on. If you remember, the other 4 theories are ritual sacrifice, assassination, robbery, and died in battle. And so you guys visited the 4 stations. You saw some pictures to go with it, and then you summarized and briefly described. Then at the end of class, I had you rank the top 3 reasons, right? I said, okay, so we've seen 5 different possibilities. What do you think are the top 3? And you made some choices. And next class, we went into our groups, and we started looking at different articles that discussed the different possibilities of how Utsi died. Again, we annotated using the 6 points of annotation. We determined first what kind of source it was. Then we break it down into paragraphs, right? So that way we're not overwhelmed by all the information. So we break it down by paragraph. We read it. We then go back and annotate it. We find our topic sentence, and then we bracket the information. Once we bracket all the information, we summarize what we learned. Make sense to everybody? Good. So you guys then read articles based on your top 3 choices. And then you created a death certificate for Utsi. All right. You had to write an introduction. You had to create a body paragraph. And you had to create a body paragraph. So you actually only had to write 2 paragraphs. The second body paragraph was for enrichment in case you did finish early, and it gave you an opportunity to practice some more. So we did the death theories, right? That was our big thing today. I only saw 2 classes today, so I won't go into what we did with them because I don't want to ruin it for the other 3 classes. But big idea for this week was to determine how Utsi died, and we've done that. So we determined how Utsi died. Now what we need to do is we need to explain to everybody, i.e. me, Mrs. Classy, Mrs. Donovan, how Utsi died. And we need to be able to do that with writing. So you're going to have to write it down. So next week, for some of you, i.e. green, blue, red, you are going to learn how to write a introductory paragraph. And then all of you next week are going to learn how to write a body paragraph using some writing strategies that we use here in 6th grade. And then you're going to make a final draft of the death certificate. And you're going to reflect on your learning because we're going to use that first certificate to reflect on and use to make our second draft better. So that's what we did this week. It was a good week. I think we had fun this week. I think getting into groups, and you got to work with a lot of different people because you weren't in your star groups. You got to be in your fruit groups. You got to be in your death theory groups. So you got to meet and be with a lot of different groups this week. And I think that's exciting because you don't always get to work in different groups. So you had a good time. All right. Are there any questions from the chat that I can answer before I go into what's going on with important dates for next week? Anybody? I'm waiting. I can see it. I can see the chat. No? No one's got any questions? Man, I must be doing my job really well. Pat on the back, Mr. Rosten. All right, so next week, we're learning how to write an intro paragraph. We're learning how to write a body paragraph. And then we're going to do our final copy of, what's it called? Of the, oh, geez, I can't think of the word. I'm sorry. I'm having a total brain fart right now. The final draft of the death certificate, okay? All right, so important dates coming up. Monday is our team building activity. So classes are going to be a little funky next week or next Monday. So make sure that you come prepared to have some fun during the team building. It really is a great exercise for you guys. You really get to know your classmates a little bit better. And I really highly suggest that you get that permission slip in and the money if you can. Okay. Also, announcement. First notebook check of the trimester will occur on the following dates. So please be prepared. The first date is for yellow and green, orange, yellow, and green. Your notebook check will be on Tuesday, October 23rd. That's Tuesday, October 23rd. I will be checking your notebooks for an assessment grade. So make sure that yours is up to date and ready to go. Blue and red class, your notebook check will be on Wednesday, October 24th. That's Wednesday, October 24th will be your first notebook check. Now, I made this announcement in some of my classes, and I know I haven't done it in all, but what I've done is I've created a hard copy for you. Mr. Rosten's interactive notebook. You can come see it. It's on my front table where you get your name cards every day. So during team enrichment, if you want to make sure that your notebook is ready and raring to go and you're going to get 100, you will check this notebook. It's got everything in there. Our primary, secondary sources. Which one is this? The Venn diagram. Artifact analysis. And of course, don't forget our friend, Ootsie the Iceman. So if your interactive notebook is in a little bit of a disarray, a little bit of, I don't know, you're missing some things, come in and see me during team enrichment, and I will set you up so that way you will be successful for your first notebook check of the year. Okay? Also, the social studies benchmark is coming up that same week. So I know it's a lot of writing, but don't freak out. It's not a big deal. All right? It doesn't count as a grade. We're going to use it, the social studies use it as a, basis for what we need to work on in the upcoming school year. Okay? To get you prepared for not only the rest of 6th grade, but to get you prepared for 7th grade, 8th grade, high school, college, because that's what we're all about here, getting you ready for the next level, right? Right. All right, so notebook checks, 2 weeks, 2. Come in and see me during team enrichment. Take a look at Mr. Rosten's interactive notebook. Make sure you have everything you need. And that's all I got. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. You worked hard this week. You did some annotation. You had to do a little bit of inferencing. You had to summarize what you learned. You had to figure out how Ootsie the Iceman died. You had a big week. So go relax. Enjoy. Maybe go apple picking. Play some Fortnite. Whatever it is you kids do when you're not with me. So I really hope you have a great weekend. You did really work hard this week. I'm very proud of you. Remember, be safe. Don't be stupid. And I'll see you next week. If you liked what you saw today, please make sure to like the video on the bottom and also hit that bell to subscribe so that way you can be notified every time I go live and do one of these Rosten reviews or upload a video. Okay? Again, have a great weekend. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And that's all I got. So, peace out, everybody.